The Oilers return home, and they put a win up on the board, 4-3 over the Vegas Golden Knights. So we're going to break it all down for you right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Joaquin Gage, our game analyst, and Benny Thomson at our EST Global HQ. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Text us 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat as well. We want to hear from you what you thought of the Oilers on this night, building up a nice, big, healthy 4-0 lead, only to see it shrink to a 4-3 lead, and they managed to get the win in Connor Ingram's Oilers debut. Let's welcome in our game analyst, Joaquin Gage. Benny Thomson, if you want to hop on as well. And I mean, we had the eyes and the focus on Connor Ingram, obviously making his first start out of necessity, with the Oilers playing yesterday in Minnesota, and Calvin Pickard playing in that game, and Ingram getting the call up from Bakersfield. What'd you think of him, Joaquin?
Fine, I guess he's obviously a professional goaltender. He's been doing it a long time. He looked fine to me, Tommy. He didn't look too nervous, It got a little hairy there in the third, but he held the fort. The Oilers played a more enthusiastic level of defense in that last 15 minutes, I would say. But overall, a pretty good performance. There's not too, you always want goals back. Doesn't matter. As a goaltender, you always want. There's always something you could have done a little bit better, maybe, right? But no, for a guy that hasn't seen NHL action and going up against the Vegas Golden Knights, who still have some very dangerous scorers on that team, looked pretto good.
Benny Thomson, what'd you make of Connor Ingram in his first Oilers start?
Like Gage was saying, solid. Just to me, he made the saves he should have made, and probably let in the goals that he should have let in. He didn't. There's maybe a couple times where it's like, oh, that was a really big save for the Oilers, but for the most part, he came in, did his job, just played solid. Which I think for the Oilers, that's all you can ask for with a goalie. Just play solid and let in the goals you're supposed to let in, make the saves you're supposed to make. And the Oilers, I think, will, with an effort like they had tonight, at least in the first 30, should get a win from that type of effort. And it actually got them to win tonight, even though got a little rocky there near the end.
Ben, you're supposed to save all of them, okay?
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
I'm kidding. But now, I didn't mind him. I thought he looked, calm, cool, composed, and that's a great thing. And Gager, the saves that were key from Ingram tonight, it reminded me of what you say when a goalie's on, the belly button thing, right? Is that a good read that, they're hitting him right in the belly button, and that's him being in a good spot, or am I seeing it a little different?
Yeah, that's just the way his positioning was. There were a few times when I think his eyes were taken away, right? He didn't see, but they hit him anyways. Mm-hmm. So that's a good sign, right? Even on I think it was the Dorothy of the third goal, I think, that he scored. I mean, he's got traffic, but he puts that puck in a place where, it's off to the side, it's away, but it unfortunately it's a good play to grab that and put it back on net, but still gives him a chance to get to the other side. But yeah, like you said, Tommy, when you're playing with your belly button to puck, and a lot of Vegas Golden Knights shots hit that Oilers crest tonight. That's the sign of a goaltender anticipating the play, being in good position, and not only that, swallowing up the rebounds, not giving those second chance opportunities too. So, yeah, I mean, it was like I said, it was good. It was fine. Nothing too spectacular, but nothing too glaring, right? I think everyone's, myself included, sitting on pins and needles because of how we've heard things have been going down in Bakersfield for Connor Ingram. But now I believe Louis even said on the broadcast that the Bakersfield Condors team are a team that is geared towards offense. So that's maybe it's a little bit of the riverboat gamblers down there, which is fine. I mean, you're seeing good opportunities to score from the other team, but that can be frustrating as a goaltender. And you always hear sometimes it's easier to play in the NHL because guys are so good positionally, right? So they're always where they're supposed to be.
Right.
That might have helped Ingram a little bit more with, and I mean, the American Hockey League, it's not beer league. We're not, right?
No.
There's skilled guys going there, but it just shows you how big the jump is from the American League to the NHL when you're talking about it's a little scrambly down there for players.
That was Ingram's first win since February 6, 2025. That was at Columbus when he was a member of the Utah Hockey Club, now known as the Mammoth. So good to see him pick up the win tonight. A couple of texts to get to. 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat as well. I see it's humming along nicely. Hit that thumbs up button. You know we always appreciate it. C-Mac texting in says, I'm loving the Stastny kid. Leading 4-0, win 4-3. Is Draisaitl broken? Why can't he score? McDavid on another planet. Also, can we talk about Nugent-Hopkins lately? Just solid this year. Silently stacking up points. Solid on both sides of the puck. And yeah, McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, and Hyman I thought that line looked great. That is the top line. I thought there were good moments for the Draisaitl line as well with Podkolzin. Roslovic, making his way back after missing quite a bit of time. Had a tough giveaway, but also made a few decent plays. But you get a 2-point night or a 2-goal night from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. You get a multi-point night from Connor McDavid, who's absolutely flying out there, scores a beautiful goal again. Draisaitl 2 assists. That's 8 straight games without a goal. Missed that open net on the beautiful feed. Is it getting in his head, you guys? Is he starting to get worried? What's going on with Leon Draisaitl?
I don't know, Tommy. I believe someone on this show said that in the pregame show that the sights are off, right? He's showing frustration, not being able to score from there. I think he's gripping it a little tight because I think I rewound it once, but I just kept watching. But it looked like he put that back the other way, right? Yeah. Like he didn't even miss it short side. He missed it long side, which is indicative that he's gripping that thing, the burger flipper a little bit too hard, I think. Just hit the net, that's all. Just get it on net. It'd be hard enough for a goalie to stop that thing. I mean, if he puts it on the ice, that thing's in, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I think he's fighting it. He's fighting it a little bit to score goals, which, I mean, it happens, right? But look out when he starts feeling it again, because there could be a lot of pucks finding the back of the net once Leon Draisaitl gets his goal-scoring prowess back again.
Well, it's not like he's not putting up points. He's got about 1 million in the time since he scored his last goal. That was December 4th. I believe that was against Seattle. Was his last goal, but Stoff just put it out there, 16 assists in that time. So he's still putting up points, still being positive influence on the team on the score sheet. And I'm sure he's going to score one, and then a bunch of them are going to follow because he tends to score in bunches. Let's go to Hampton Steve, who texts in. Hampton Steve says, good evening, gents. Things got a bit hairy in the second half of the game, but glad the Oilers were able to pull it out. 2 players who continue to stand out for me of late are Stastny and Jones. If Jones keeps up his strong play, he's going to take someone's job in the bottom 6 once the team is mostly healthy. Reed and I were talking about this in the press box tonight, you guys. Max Jones, in his 3 games that he's played, has, I think, been a more positive influence and had more of an impact than Trent Frederic has essentially all year. And that's not good.
No. Well,
good for Jones.
It's good for him.
Games,
he's the player that they would like Frederic to be, with a little bit more offensive touch, I think. But I remember, I don't know if you guys remember Max Jones's first game last year. Like, there was something there. Like he toe dragged a couple guys and had a couple good scoring chances. And now he's really playing the right way for his role. If that's, like that's what you do. And no, I've been impressed. Now, Stastny, I mean, what a luxury to have. Like I definitely had the eyes on him tonight, the ISO cam on him, and he looked good. And to see him, that last 2 minutes, he was out there the majority of the time, doing every little thing, being tough to play against, right? Taking sticks and that anticipation, not unlike my former favorite Oiler, Brett Kulak, used to do, right? Yeah. So that is a really good sign that he is kind of starting. I'm not saying it's all the way there yet, but starting to kind of fill those Kulak shoes. Mm-hmm. That was a gaping hole that we thought we were worried about, but it looks like the maybe not the full shovels, but the toy shovels are filling those holes too now.
I did watch him. More of a focus on Stastny today, and I was very impressed. Yes, the skating ability seems to be a good heads up player, so a good sign there. Regula coming back, you guys. Benny, anything there? I know he took a penalty, and he had some okay moments, but
he also had that great assist, though. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
So there's again, there were some times when you kind of you gotta make sure there, mm-hmm. But he's the type of guy that he's going to have the processor has to get up to NHL speed quick, mm-hmm. right? Because when he has a little bit of time, he's quite effective. But as soon as he's once he's rushed, it seems like he gets the controller gets unplugged there at times and doesn't always make the right play. So he's got to think the game a little bit quicker. But again, just that slight delay to hit Leon through the middle with a great pass and then hit Connor for the first goal. That all started with Regula, right? Yeah. So good for him, but there's still some blemishes.
No, this is his 43rd career NHL game.
Yeah.
And he had missed some time with that illness and back in the lineup tonight. I'm liking Emberson more and more. I know it's not flashy, but there's a level of consistency that I personally, when I watch him, feel comfortable with.
And the aggressive nature of him too, Tommy, is what I like, right? Like he rocks guys when he hits them, like, and just leans on them in front and makes things just a little bit more difficult. And he doesn't look for the super sexy play, right? Mm-hmm. It's that's open, boom, gone, and it's up and out. So I like his decision making, but I mean, we've seen his progression. We saw when it got to playoffs last year, the game kind of passed him by. But to me, right now, if you're to compare Emberson from this point last year to now, there's a definite step up in his play that bodes well. Right. So again, a guy with just over 100 games, you're only going to see improvements from here. Yeah.
Good reminder, too, because him, Stastny, and Regula have not played a ton in the National Hockey League. And, we always hear it from people around the league. It takes defensemen a long time to really find their game and consistency at the NHL level. I know 300 games is kind of the number that gets thrown out there. The guy that leads the way is Emberson with the amount of games he's played. I think he's pushed into about the 140 range. I just mentioned Regula is playing his 43rd game. Spencer Stastny is about 85 NHL games under his belt. So work in progress, and they need that experience. They're getting it and having a decent night like tonight. Let's go to Coach Mike, who texts in and says, it's not exactly what I had in mind when I thought the Oilers would win, but I'll take it. 75-25 were an adventure tonight. Did not have an issue with the lineup. Does Frederic sit again? Bonus question. What's the hottest team in the NHL right now with 6 wins in a row? The answer will surprise you. Well, it was Minnesota until they got beat today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They got the wheels beat off them today.
They did.
It was, and it's funny because I was obviously with family last night, and people were talking about how Minnesota's going to win the cup. And then I was texting after the score of that game, is Minnesota still going to win? It just shows you how good that Central Division is, right?
Yeah.
From, look, the Oilers, the Knights, the Knights are missing some key players. This is they're all really good teams. Some teams are looking a little bit better. Colorado Avalanche team looks like a juggernaut again.
Yeah.
But teams are right there. It's going to be a fun watch down the stretch here, and that first round of the playoffs is just going to be fantastic this year. I think there's better parity this year than ever before. Right.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting. And I just want to say the one thing, because I see a lot of people texting in and upset with the Oilers of letting off the gas. Now it is very difficult to dominate a team for 60 minutes. All right. That's one thing, especially a team with the personnel that the Vegas Golden Knights still have right now. And missing a few, right? They're not just going to lie down. I'll say the Oilers took a little bit of a step back, but the Knights just took what they could get. They started making those easy plays, getting into the zone, getting on the Oilers D, and starting to change the tide. I would put it at the Vegas Golden Knights starting to play better and than what they were before, and to start turning that game in their direction, right? And we talk about those young defensemen with under a certain amount of games played. These are important lessons for them, right? I mean, I don't like after the second period, I'll admit I thought that I didn't like this game. I don't like watching a dominant one team looking so dominant and not seeing that pushback. I like to see when the other team, what the response is, right? That makes good watching. And after that third goal, you saw a very mature, very poised Edmonton Oilers team kind of stop the bleeding, start doing the right things, getting pucks in, short 10-foot passes, making the right plays. And those are the types of lessons that you need to learn, especially for young D-men, and feeling that anxiety of this game was in hand. Now it feels like it's slipping away from us. Let's make sure it's like on a rope tow. When you're going up the rope tow and the rope starts slipping through your hands, you got to grab it again and get moving.
Edmonton and Vegas now tied at 42 points, guys. And Joaquin, you make a good point. Is Vegas is still a good team. They're 6-2-2 in the last 10. I know they're now winless in 3, but they have some high-end talent. We saw that tonight. They've got some really good defensemen. Carter Hart's game. What do you think of Carter Hart so far? I mean, he's relatively early in his return to the National Hockey League. I thought he made some okay saves. Are you seeing anything from Carter Hart so far? No, not too much, Tommy. I mean, I watched him a bit, and I was kind of a fan back when he was with Philly. Saw some really good games, but to tell you the truth, I think his play was similar to Stuart Skinner. He made some good saves, but there always seemed to be one that you'd like to have back, right? And not that his game was poor tonight, but the old adage, when you need to make a save, it really wasn't there for him tonight. And taking 2 years off, that's a long time, right? It's going to take him, I would say, the better part of this season to get back to where he was previously, even if he's capable of doing that. But no, I mean, Oilers had their way with him. They've had their way with him in the past. But yeah, I guess if I really were to critique both guys, I thought that Connor Ingram was in way more control in the net than Carter Hart was tonight. I was laughing a little bit earlier about this text that came in from Liquid Beaver. Nice win. I really liked what Frederic brought tonight. I think they finally found a role for him. Bravo, Liquid Beaver.
Come on, it's Christmas.
Listen, we discussed it a little bit on the pregame show. If things go really well tonight for the Oilers, and they went relatively well, they get the win. I thought the fourth line actually had some decent shifts. Lazar was hustling. Max Jones, who we talked about there, was looking all right, and Janmark has been okay. Do you switch the lineup for Tuesday against Calgary, or do you roll with this group again and keep Trent Frederic up in the press box?
No, it's hard. I hate when coaches make adjustments after a win, especially one that you've kind of gutted out. That's a good feeling in the locker room. I would say if the Oilers were to roll to a 5-1 win, you still feel good that you've won the game. But the fashion that you were able to pull this one that seemed like it was slipping away back, that's a moment within the dressing room of the guys that played tonight. Right, they were part of a gutsy win, I would say. And so, I just think as a coach, I would want to keep those guys together because they've done something special, right? So, I think you just let Frederic, you know what, watch another one, unplug for a few days over the Christmas break, and get him in the next one and see what that does. Like if he sits for 2 games, Tommy, and you come back after Christmas and you do not see an inspired effort in that next one, then you got a serious problem on your hands.
I want to see him get angry and ornery when he returns to the lineup. Benny, what are you smirking about? You got that grin.
that whole situation. Like if Frederic comes back without any fire in this game, like they got a problem, and obviously it's an issue right now, but like that's even bigger. To me, like this is a clear sent message from your coach. Like you were given an 8-year deal to be in Edmonton, to not necessarily play top 6, but pot in the odd goal, have an impact on the game because you have the frame and you've shown you can do it in when you were in Boston. Yeah, and we haven't seen that yet. And if we can't see that after he's back, which I'm with Gager, I think you keep him in the press box for another one. This team, like I thought, who are you going to pull out tonight? Like everyone on that fourth line, I thought had a pretty solid game and did their role. I think you let him sit, and if there's no answer with him, what do you do?
We shall see.
I'll just say that on the website Puckpedia, it does show the top viewed buyout players in the NHL, and we looked at it months ago, Benny and I, in the bullpen, and it's the leaderboard has changed, and it does have Trent Frederic at the top. At 19% of all views are looking at the buyout impact of what it would be for Trent Frederic.
That's about 750,000 Edmontonians looking at it. Half the damn city, man. Let's go to Calgary. Stanley and YYC texting. It says, good to see the boys win this one for 39. That's Connor Ingram's number, by the way. Number 10 was finally useful in the press box. Had to beat the refs and the Knights tonight. Stanley and YEG here for the Flames game. Oh, welcome back to town, Stanley. It should be good on Tuesday night. Hope you're bundled up. It is pretty cold. Connor Ingram, first player to wear number 39 for the Oilers since Sam Carrick. Reed and I were talking about that earlier in the day, and Carrick was only here. He was a rental, but he's wearing Dougie Waite's old number 39. And Ingram made some saves. The Oilers made some decent defensive plays. It wasn't perfect, a bit spotty, but they do get Ingram his first win since February when he was with Utah. The refs, like Stanley and YYC, that hurdle non-call when he drilled Draisaitl, that was obviously interference. Draisaitl retaliates and slashes him, takes the penalty. There were a couple soft calls, I think, both ways too. And not an all-star performance from the officiating, but they never really are, to be honest.
I really hate when I feel that the refs start that type of game management when all because of a team's power play is doing well. All of a sudden, okay, the Oilers' power play is humming. It is dangerous every time out there, and it seems like their power play is deadly. If I call, so they're probably going to score, and now I'm impacting the game. I don't want to do that. Who cares?
Call the game.
Mm-hmm. Just keep it consistent. It's not your fault that the Vegas Golden Knights keep taking penalties. And if the Oilers are clicking on the power play and get 8 goals on the PP, that shouldn't hinder you from making calls throughout the game. And I just felt after the success of the Oilers power play that the refs were the Knights had to do something really egregious for the Oilers to get a power play. And it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. I understand, Gager. And Edmonton's power play went 2 for 3 tonight. PK goes 3 for 5. They do slightly win the special teams battle, but yeah, and you could see, well, Leon was giving it to the refs, and then McDavid had to have an extended conversation with Mark Stone right there after that sequence, and then the penalty that the Oilers ended up taking. And, they got away with it. The PK did okay tonight. Overall, did give up 2, but I thought it was all right. Like, I didn't think it was super good, but they managed to get through it. And You're right. I think you summed that up nicely. Rip City Step texting in says, I never doubted him. Attaboy, Rip City Step. Mike outside of Edmonton, Texas says, nice to see Ingram get that win. Hopefully us fans can help him out by not being dicks. Yes, Mike from outside of Edmonton. I think that's lovely. Norman the Combine says 4-goal lead, worst lead in hockey. Better play 29-97 in the last 12 minutes out of 15. Well, we do see that quite a bit. Sean Texan says, all gas, no brakes, pour it on. Thank you, Sean. And then there's some more coming in. 780-218-9999. Uncle Dave says, I'm convinced Bouchard is actually an AI bot that needs a software update. Most of the time it operates fine, but without warning gets stuck in buffering. Nicely done. Nicely done.
I didn't have too much of an issue with Bouchard's game tonight. It wasn't his best, but at least he stuck up for his goalie there and pushed hurdle, like there was a heartbeat, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I like that AI bot, an NPC, if you will, non-playable character. Well, he was okay. All right, let's get to let's take a look here at Tuesday night with Joaquin. Joaquin, I know you're busy. You got Christmas stuff going on today, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, well, let's take a peek ahead to Tuesday night against the Calgary Flames. It's a home-and-home set, sandwiched around the Christmas break. So we'll see the Oilers take on the Flames here at Edmonton on Tuesday night, and then they go to the Saddle Dome on Saturday. Joaquin, Calgary's been playing better lately. Edmonton's got a nice little run going, 7-2-1 in its last 10. Edmonton's got its sights set on first place in the division. I know they played more hockey than the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights have 3 games in hand on the Oilers, and Anaheim has 1 game in hand on the Oilers and is 2 points up. But the Pacific looks like this. The Ducks at 44 points, the Golden Knights and Oilers at 42 points, LA at 39. LA's only played 34 games. That's 3 less than Edmonton. And then San Jose's at 37 points. Calgary now at 34 through 36 games. Vancouver at 33. And Seattle, which is basically going into rebuild mode right now, sending off Mason Marchment on Friday, has 32 points in 33 games and is 2-8. So that's the Pacific Division picture. But the Oilers get their provincial rivals. We haven't seen Calgary in a while. What do you think has to happen for there to be success for Edmonton on Tuesday?
From what I've watched of the Flames this year, guys, is they're just a hardworking team. They play a very honest brand of hockey, and if you they have issues putting the puck in the net if you don't take the game seriously, I think, and it'll be kind of interesting to me because I don't think it's hard. It's a hard situation for the last 2 games with the Oilers of getting ready for. Obviously, the road trip was going well. They knew that they're going up against a Minnesota Wild team that's really good, that shut them out prior. If they didn't bring a level of hockey that was consistent, they would have got run out of the building. And then you're back at home, first time to win back-to-backs or the opportunity to do it or win the second half of a back-to-back. And you're going up against a Pacific Division foe like the Golden Knights. So you had those added little bits of spice to get you ready for this game. Now you're playing a Flames team who's, probably on the outside looking in at the playoff picture again this year, but they're going to be there. It seems like all the way to the end. So I and it's the game before Christmas break. It's just it's very difficult to keep your mind on for 60 minutes before, am I going to make my flight? I got to get my bags packed. All these other things are all up in the air, so to speak, for these guys in that game. So take care of business at home, get the 2 points and the 4 point kind of game, and keep the teams below you. Don't give those teams any life. It's a really good opportunity for the Oilers to move even further up in that Pacific Division.
Tom, we lost your mic there.
Oh, I got it. There we go. I was walking past the family lounge on my way out to get set up for postgame, and it was a little bit busier than normal. So you could tell family members are in town. That whole added element. I don't want to call it a distraction, but you got more people around, and I don't know if it maybe plays on some guys' minds. So, Gager, I totally get what you're saying when you talk about going into the last game before the Christmas break. There's a million things going on. It's a very busy time of year, and yeah, you said that. I was like, oh yeah, the family lounge was hopping tonight, and it's just that time.
I'm sure it was, right? But that's kind of. That's a good thing to me, Tommy, when you said that, because usually everyone's flying out, right? Yeah. And that's usually what happens. So if you see a lot of family members coming in here, it makes sense, right? If they already got places here, have Christmas with family in Edmonton. It's snowy, cold. You can't get more Christmassy than it is outside right now.
It's cold, man. It's cold. Stay warm. Family helps you stay warm. Good times helps you stay warm. Good food too. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that in the next few days, if it hasn't already started, which is fantastic. Gager, thank you again for stepping up in a pinch. I know Cass couldn't make it work tonight, so great work as our game analyst as always. I look forward to seeing you. Are you in tomorrow?
You betcha, buddy.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, Gager. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
There you go. There's Joaquin Gage, our game analyst. Great stuff from Gager, and do really appreciate him filling in for Cass tonight. All right, keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. I'm going to do the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game before we get into some clips from the locker room. We will have Reid Wilkins popping by. Got to sit with him. He was very funny tonight, as always. And we'll also get later on in the show to the player of the game, and that's with Benny, of course. But the turning point of the game coming up right now, and it's presented by Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. Benny, I'm going to go to a moment late in the game when the Oilers were defending in that last minute. Darnell Nurse, good stick on a puck that was trying to find the seam through the middle, redirects it out of play. Now, there were some dicey moments, but the fact that they were able to break up a lot of Vegas's attempts to get pucks to the net, and I thought that was a great stick by Darnell Nurse. There was some disruptions, getting body parts on pucks, trying to get through. I thought the scramble at the end and the way the Oilers defended, although it was hairy, I think that was pretty well done on their part. So I'll hone in on the stick by Darnell Nurse to redirect the puck, but just the way the Oilers were able to defend in that final minute, holding on to that 1-goal lead. That'll be your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Some honorable mentions, the goals were great. Power play was clutch, but we're going to go with that last moment in the game that basically went a long way in icing the game for the Oilers. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's go with that one. All right. Let's go inside the Oilers locker room. You can text us 780-218-9999. We want to hear your thoughts on the victory. What'd you think of Connor Ingram? What'd you think of Alec Regula and his return? Is Spencer Stastny continuing to impress you? What'd you make of Max Jones? Fire your thoughts our way or hop into the nasty chat as well. We're going to go inside the Oilers locker room here. I'll let Benny pick who we hear from first.
If in 2 seconds here, I'll have Ingram ready, and I want to hear from him because obviously a big game for him. Yeah, he's ready to go. So this is Connor Ingram from the dressing room tonight.
That's how you felt in there tonight and what the last 48 hours or so have been like for you.
It's been hectic, but I mean, at the end of the day, no matter what level you're in, my job is just to stop the puck. I don't have to learn a forecheck or things like that. My job never changes. So guys did a great job making me feel welcome and kind of showing me everything that I need to know, and it's been great.
Connor, what did getting the start here and coming back to the NHL and picking up your W mean to you personally?
It's good. I mean, there's a lot of days I didn't think it'd ever happen again. I mean, it's just the truth of it in this world. This is a competitive game there's 64 spots in the world to do this, so you don't take it for granted any day you're up here. It's a huge honor.
It's a big day in Imperial, Saskatchewan. The coach gets to get away. What do you think they were doing in Imperial tonight? Watching you?
I bet they were in the rink watching it. Maybe the bar. I don't know. I'll have to text Dad and see what he was up to.
What does it felt like for you, getting back into it in the American League? I mean, we all saw the stats. Obviously, you're trying to find your game and trying to feel it. And then you get back up here. I don't know, was there a comfort level being up here? What was that grind like, trying to find your game?
It was hard. Obviously, I didn't get to go to camp. So that was a huge setback. I think I was in Utah when that happened, so I took 2 weeks without touching the ice. And that's hard to come back from right before the season. So it took me a sec to get it going again. But at that point, like I said before, it's just hockey. You put your skates on the same way no matter where you are. And just go out and try to do your best. And every dog has their day.
Not sure how much you heard, but there was a good cheer when you made the first save today. Were you aware of that, or do you remember that
No,
save?
I black out there.
What's off the wing was a good save.
Yeah.
First couple of minutes.
No, I don't remember what happened. I remember doing it, but after that, no.
What's the difference between coming back and playing in the American League where it's more scrambly and then you come back to the NHL for a goal?
Yeah, I think it's easier. I mean, in this, what you think should happen does happen. I rely heavily on reading the game. I've never been a guy that was fast enough or quick enough to kind of react, so I had to be one step ahead. And this league, it's just easier to do that. Where you think the puck is going to go, 90% of the time it does. So it's just easier to kind of read and figure it out from there. But it's also a huge step. I mean, that's a lot faster than what I've used to for the last couple of months. So there's still a lot of work to be done.
When you have been through what you've been through and away from the game for as long as you've been away from it, when you finally get a chance to come back and play and you get the start, how do you not make too much of it? How do you stay focused and not?
I think you said it in the question. I've been through enough to know that the sun's coming up tomorrow. No matter what happens in this life, I got a wife and a family that loves me, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. You want to win hockey games, but there's a lot more to life than just hockey.
When you look at your game, I mean, play a pretty good game for your first time coming up, pretty hectic day and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where does your game go from here? Because your game got a lot better.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of help today. Nurse breaks one up there at the end of the game. That's an empty net if he doesn't. So it's not just me. I thought all of us played well, and I think save percentage is a team stat. So when we do a job like we did today, it makes my job easier. I thought it was a great effort from top to bottom.
What's the story with the mask? Looks like you still got to fill it out, or
Yeah.
how's that working?
No, the last 5 years have looked like that, yeah. The point of them is supposed to be that from the crowd you can't tell what it is, but up close it has detail.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of just like the pads. There's a touch of orange in them, but you got to be pretty close to see it, yeah.
Why is that from the Joker on the back? Is that
Yeah,
that
it's
is
like it's like the opening scene when he has
Yeah.
the mask in it, but they just put a goalie mask in it. So
Why'd you like that?
I've always had the Joker since I've been in the NHL, but we used a different artist this time in Bakersfield, so I thought I'd change it up. I thought it turned out really well, actually.
What's the most fun part about being back in the NHL after you've been away?
Just being around it. I mean, this is what you dream of your whole life. You don't dream of playing in the American League. You want to play in the NHL. So, like I said before, you don't take any day for granted, and every day you're here is a good day.
You're here, obviously through your hard work. People along the way have obviously believed in you. So who do you point to as the people that have sort of backed you and believed in you through this?
Everyone that stood beside me, there's been dark days. I rely heavily on Sarah, my dad, my brothers. Met a couple fantastic therapists along the way. The NHL program, I mean, Dr. Gold sent me a text yesterday when he saw that I got called up just asking how I was doing. So, if you surround yourself in life with good people, when you need them, they're going to be there. And I think when you go through struggles, you find out who the people that really are around, and those are the people you want to keep around.
Your dad a farmer?
I was a high school teacher.
Oh, in high school, what did you teach?
Math and gym, yeah.
How are you with math? Math at school?
Math is my thing. I have trouble reading. Yeah, my reading comprehension is below average. Yeah,
The numbers.
numbers are okay.
All right, that was a good interview. I think a lot of people you get to see a little bit of his personality there, and I like that at the end, that exchange with Maddie, and good for him. That's what I was thinking while listening to him speak, and he acknowledged therapists and family and his dad and people back home and his wife and his kids. Hard not to root for a guy fighting his way back and getting that opportunity and being successful tonight. So, good for Connor Ingram, really, honestly. And we'll see where his game goes from here. A couple weeks for Jari, sounds like. So he should be up here. He's played good hockey at the NHL level. And I saw some posts in the Nasty chat, complimenting him, being very happy for him, reassuring and positive towards Connor Ingram. So I like to see that. That's good. And, it's interesting too, hearing him talk about in the NHL, the puck generally goes where it's supposed to, and it's not as scrambly as the AHL, and him reading and reacting instead of relying on instinct. And that was interesting, good insight, and it makes sense. And maybe it goes to what Joaquin was saying with the belly to the puck thing, and we saw some of that tonight. And I was curious to hear what he had to say. I really enjoyed that post-game scrum with Connor Ingram. So good on him. And Benny, did you catch what he said?
Oh, I caught it. Because I saw the big smirk on your face as soon as he said it. I was like, there it is. There it is.
He knew the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game was Darnell Nurse getting a stick on that puck. He said it would have been an empty net. And I was like, he knows too. So anyway, I'm joking, but it was funny to hear him say that. All right, let's dive into the inbox a little bit here. Greg the Sound Guy says, hey guys, not at all displeased with this game. Even though Vegas came on, it did look like a game that both teams are on the ass end of a back-to-back. Plus the Oilers being in a 3-4, it's a tough game. I liked Ingram. He was solid. I felt there's a gig or two up for grabs there, and he didn't hurt his chances. Nice to see them beat Hart. Would have been a lot cooler if they lit him up. Happy holidays, boys. Love you. Greg, the Sound Guy. Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate that very much. And that was a nice text. We like that, and we're glad that you enjoy what we do. That makes us feel reassured and happy that we can provide something for people. Nice text. Let's go to Fergie's prostate. This one has a little bit more sass on it, I guess. It says, Tommy, in a pinch, if Cass or Gage are unavailable, you call on me for some serious insight and analysis. Fergie's prostate. Thank you, Fergie. I always appreciate you too. And I love your wisecracks as well. We can always get a good guffaw and chuckle out of you. Coach Mike reminding everybody, the team that has the 6-game heater and is the hottest team in the NHL right now, Buffalo Sabres.
Then in the first game of that winning streak was the Oilers.
Yeah. They've got the Oilers number this year. They swept the season series. Edmonton going 0-1-1 against Buffalo. 5-1 loss, and then they had that comeback where they forced OT and lost in OT, some shoddy defensive play. And it was Tuck who buried the winner. A couple weeks ago. All right, Coach Mike also adds, with Jari gone for the foreseeable future, does Knobloch alternate the goalies, or is it Pickard's net? Coach Mike, I think it's Pickard's net, but it probably depends game to game how it goes goaltending-wise. Like, I think you could look at Connor Ingram's game tonight and maybe feel a little sense of relief, be like, okay, if we put him in another game, he should be all right. He talked about still having to find his game, and he's getting into the right headspace. And some people are asking, what happened to Ingram? I think he had some difficulties, and hockey's a game that you play in your mind a lot of times too. Confidence. I had a lot going on in his life. Obviously, there's some personal battles that he had to deal with, and he needed help, and he went and he got help. And it seems like his head's in a good place now, and that's the most important thing. So that, not to get too detailed about what Connor Ingram's situation was, but he needed to take care of his mind a little bit, and was able to do that. So I'll just sum it up like that. Let's go to El Presidente. El Presidente says, I had to miss the game because I was coaching a tough fought loss, but sounds like it was a hell of a game, but they were up quite late. Yes, El Presidente. They hung on after building a robust 4-0 lead and managed to maintain a 4-3 victory. All right. I've got a bunch more that I want to read, but we want to go back inside the locker room. We're going to have Reid Wilkins stopping by for Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell. In the meantime, let's go to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Benny, what do you say?
Let's do it. Yeah, this is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins from the locker room tonight.
Remember getting called up and then suddenly with the team and playing. Just maybe give us a thought on what you saw from him.
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding early. Just solid. Got in front of everything and really good at handling the puck too. So that goes a long way. But I mean, he gave us a chance early and we kind of fed off that. And obviously probably gave up too many to make it pretty tough on him late. But he held in there.
You guys have wanted to tighten up your game defensively anyway. But is it more so now that there's all this uncertainty with your goaltenders coming and going and getting hurt?
I mean, I think it's just the way the season's kind of ramping up at this point. You have to tighten up defensively, and I think we've been doing a great job. As of late, it doesn't really matter who's back there for us. We want to play our best in front of them and make things as easy as we possibly can for them.
Was that sort of human nature talking in the second half of that game? You're up 4-0, it's 4-3.
Yeah, I mean, they had a push. We probably, in the second, gave them a little bit too much, turning pucks over and not getting the puck all the way down. But that's a good team. They had a push. We found a way to manage it. Obviously, I think on the other side of it, to push them back is important. To kind of stay on the gas is going to be key in those situations. But Ingo was huge, and we found a way.
Do you, when it comes to how the systems you play, how well you play defensively, about all the skaters, does it matter who's in net? Should it matter which guys stand up between the pipes?
No, I mean, it definitely shouldn't matter the way that we play. I mean, we're looking for consistency in our game, consistency defensively especially, and we kind of play from there out. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, we just kind of want to help whoever's in there as much as we can. It's protecting the slot, protecting the middle, keep things to the outside, and we know that these guys are good enough to make those saves.
It might have been the first time your top six was pretty intact here. Roslovic's back, Hyman's back. Like, what did you think of that sort of feel in those top couple of lines?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have great depth throughout. Obviously, Rosie brings a great aspect for us. Very, very skilled. He's obviously before he took that shot was riding hot. So I think those guys will find the chemistry again right away and get back to it. But I mean, you look through our lineup and there's a lot of guys that can go into a lot of different spots, but it's that depth that's key.
All right, there's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 2 goals and an assist for the Nuge tonight, helping lead the Oilers to a victory, 3 points on the night, and that takes them to 10 goals, 20 assists this season. Ben Thomson, 30 points through 37 games. He did miss some time, actually. He's played 28 games, so 30 points to 20, better than a point a game pace. Very good to see from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Great feed from Leon Draisaitl on that first goal.
That's kind of the thing with Leon right now. Like, everyone's talking about he's gripping the stick too tight, but at least he's not just like everything's is shut down with him. Like, at least he has his playmaking side that is still flying. That was a ridiculous feed he hits Nuge with there. Yeah, that's like there's not a whole lot of NHLers that can make that pass, and he feeds Nuge at the perfect time. They've added that play to their power play this year. I don't think that was one they had set up in previous years. Now it seems like they set it up to where, whenever Leon gets in the corner and he doesn't shoot it, that far side winger tends to go unseen and can fly back door. And it was the same thing. Nuge scored a power play goal fed by McDavid. When was that? Somewhat recently too. Pittsburgh. So I think it's nice to see Drysdale making those plays, and Nuge, he's been really impressive this year, and it's nice to see because they're a much better team when you have a guy like that who can play PK, power play, and good 5-on-5. He's very important for this Oilers team.
Very good player, that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and has been for a long time. Continues to play well this season. All right, we're going to go back inside the Oilers locker room. This guy also had a pretty nice little tuck. It was Zach Hyman. You could see him. He was giving some love. Who was he giving love to? It was Darnell Nurse on that feed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Also, he was mixing it up with the Golden Knights a little bit. I didn't mind that.
With
you know that one play he tried to bat the puck and Carter Hart gloved it. It looked like he was like staring at him, smiling at him, and then like 3 Golden Knights came in. Like, what was he saying? I always wonder about.
I can't imagine it's a bad thing. Like Hyman's always seems like he always got a smile on his face. I feel like he just doesn't chirp. You know, he's just like I feel like he'd always be like, "Oh, good try, man. Good save."
Just a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Maybe with the opponents too, but not in a like, hey, I'm going to be nice to you, and
he's not Leon. Leon will Leon will let the other team know it.
Yeah. All right, let's hear from Zach Hyman.
Connor Ingram, he gets the call. Obviously, it's a little unexpected, and to come in and do what he did. What do you think?
Excuse me. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to see a guy like that get rewarded. I thought he played great. We gave up a lot of chances there in the third. We bent but didn't break, and I thought he was a huge part of that.
So what was the biggest difference between the first 30 minutes and the second 30 minutes of the game?
Well, I don't know. You get a lead, you get a 4-0 lead, and you don't want to take your foot off the gas. They have a push, they push. Special teams came into effect. We were good on the power play, they were good on the power play. So one of those games, but we won in regulation. So big 2 points against a division rival.
Tell me about the dynamic around this team with goaltending. You trade away the mainstay, new guy comes in. Now he's out a few weeks. You got backups are going to play. He comes up for the minors. You get a new goalie every day. What does a team do under these circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just next man up. Like we've dealt with injuries at every position this year. Goaltending obviously now no different. So whoever's playing, you have to play well in front of. You want to make the life easy for a goalie, especially a new goalie who doesn't necessarily know all the systems or anything like that, right? They're just learning. So you want to make sure that everything's predictable and yeah, I mean, I thought we did a good job of it for the most part today.
All right, there's Zach Hyman, short and sweet, goal and an assist for the Oilers winger. Looks like he's finding his stride after missing a good chunk of the season due to that dislocated wrist that he suffered against the Dallas Stars in the 3rd round last season. We are going to bring in Reid Wilkins, who's ready to go. It is Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Pretty good start for the Oilers. They get that 4-0 lead, Reid, and we're like, oh, maybe they let it slip. But good on Vegas for pushing and staying with it, breathing some new life into their game later in the game, and then good on the Oilers for hanging on. How did you see tonight, Reid? Reid, are you muted? There, he sees it. Very disappointed. Very disappointed in you, Reid. Oh, no. No, can't hear you. No. That was Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell. There he is. No.
Sorry, something got changed.
Oh, right. There you go.
By accident.
I was just teasing you, by the way.
I think, first of all, you got to feel good for Connor Ingram. He said it, didn't know if he'd ever play in the NHL again, and he had a good game. Most importantly, he won the game. That's the goalie's number one job, is to win the game, and he didn't let in a goal that made anybody cringe. Yes, 3 beat him. Okay, Vegas had some life, but I thought he made some of his best saves once it was within a goal. There were some dangerous shots or some tricky shots. The Oilers weren't, very efficient with the puck and were giving it away. And he made good saves. And like I said, there wasn't 1 or 2 goals where you're like, oh man, I could see why he's 880, 855 or whatever it was in the 856 in the American Hockey League. So good for him to get back in the NHL and play a pretty strong game. I think if you just tuned in randomly, you wouldn't know that he was, making his first start of the season or had some bad numbers in the American Hockey League. And then, you mentioned the 4-0 lead, Tom. The Oilers' big guys were dominant. McDavid has been on a tear here for 9-10 games now. just driving the net, making great plays, keeping pucks alive. He made a couple good back checks today, especially as the Oilers built up that lead. I know Draisaitl hasn't scored in 7 games, but more assists for him. Nugent-Hopkins is finishing. Hyman's around the net, banging the pucks in. So those 4 guys are really driving the offense. The power play, dangerous again. And they were just dominant through the first half of the game. Credit to Vegas for waking up. I mean, quite frankly, guys, that's one of the worst games, at least for about the first 33 minutes, maybe one of the worst games I've ever seen Vegas play against Edmonton. Yeah. I know there was a game a few years ago where they beat them 7 or 8-2 when Vegas had their 4th-string goalie in net.
That was their first ever game here in Edmonton.
Right. And they had so many injuries. Was it Jeff Glass or somebody like that was in net? It
was Dylan Ferguson.
Was that who it was?
Call up from Kamloops. And the Golden Knights were riding like their 4th goalie.
Yeah.
That was their playing Chicago at the time, I believe. That was their farm team.
But and it's funny with Marner. I mean, he wound up, was he in on every goal? Well, a goal and an assist on the ice for every Vegas goal. I mean, I didn't know Marner was playing for about the first 25 minutes of the game. And then all of a sudden he was dangerous in the final 27 or 28 minutes. It was interesting watching Vegas. I mean, clearly they miss Eichel, and they, Pietrangelo. I know Pietrangelo has been out a long time, but I do feel like how I always called them the miserable bastards. Like Mark Stone kind of led the way, but I always felt Pietrangelo was like the deputy. Like we remember the slash against Draisaitl, but they were like a million miles away from having that attitude for most of the night. So, but I heard the one text about both these teams playing back to back. I was looking at Vegas' schedule. Like they had an Eastern road trip. They were back home for one game.
Yep.
And then they're Calgary and Edmonton. So every team goes through it with the tough schedule. I think the worst for the Oilers is behind them. I think Vegas is facing it now. I think the other thing, Tom and Ben, that we have to consider here, and I mean, this is maybe going to be a bit of a downer, but looking big picture, I mean, I mentioned the big guys, just incredibly dynamic. Who else is really dangerous in the offensive zone? Now, tonight, there were a couple chances. I mean, Henrique had that jam play, and Savoy probably scores that most of the time. I think the puck flipped on him.
Yep.
Draisaitl missed an open net on a power play one-timer that usually he finishes, but that's another chance for the power play. So what's really happening when the bottom 6 forwards are on the ice? I mean, it's great to check. It's great that they kill penalties most of the time. And I want to talk about a specific player too, but is there the goal there being chipped in every once in a while? For the most part, there hasn't. I mean, I know Mangiapane got one yesterday. So, I still think that that's part of the roster that's probably going to be tweaked or adjusted here as the season goes on. Max Jones played .756, had a shot on goal and a couple of hits and a blocked shot. I noticed Max Jones. Like, I would have thought maybe he was up around 10 or 11 minutes. I mean, clearly he's not going to play a lot. I would have thought maybe he had 3 or 4 more shifts than what he got. I asked Chris Knobloch about Jones, and he said he's doing everything you need to do in that role. So, of course, you have to tie this into Trent Frederic, who was scratched tonight. So, in my mind, Max Jones has played more like Trent Frederic was supposed to play than Trent Frederic.
Yes.
Now, Frederic was scratched tonight. Ryan Rishaug asked about, taking this measure, and Knobloch basically said, I don't know if you played Knobloch, but that, he hopes it's a bit of a reset and that he will be back into the lineup. And we've seen Knobloch do this. I know with Frederic, I'm sure some people would have wanted it to happen sooner, but you hope there's a positive impact for this. I mean, I go back to Knobloch's first year coaching in the playoffs. Game 4 against Dallas, Ryan McLeod scores on a rebound. He was scratched the previous game, got put back into the game with Leon Draisaitl. Then I brought this up before because I do think it's interesting to point out. Warren Fogle, who had important qualities, who I think the Oilers kind of miss a player in that role.
Yes.
I mean, yes, he was inconsistent, but he was a middle six forward who was going to get around 20. He was scratched in Game 6 against Dallas and then came back for the Stanley Cup final. So we've seen Knoblauch do this with prominent, important players, and then we have seen them respond. Now, this isn't the playoffs, but those are just some examples I'm using. So he reached the point with Frederic where he was finally like, look, you don't deserve to play ahead of a bunch of other guys, but can you watch and then respond and get back into the lineup and contribute?
It's Reed's Read, brought to you by Ewell. The Oilers 4-3 winners over the Vegas Golden Knights. They'll play the Golden Knights 3 more times, twice in March, and then they get them in April. Text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the chat as well. Tommy, Benny, and Reed with you as we cruise along on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. All right, Riedrich, what do you make of Spencer Stastny? What do you make of Alec Regula? What do you make of the Oilers back end without Brett Kulak?
I'd say mostly positive for Stastny. Yeah. I mean, he does move well. He made some good plays late in the game. He was out there with Vegas trying to tie the game. He seems to be kind of lanky, like he can move and also get his stick in the way and break up some plays that way. So I think he's good, and maybe the potential to be really good. Regula, I mean, he takes too many penalties, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know what his... maybe that's not accurate, but I don't have the pregame stats. I feel like he winds up in the box too much. I feel like he's very inconsistent. I mean, he's big. It's crazy because he made that dangle move against the Leafs. He had another decent opportunity tonight, I think, in the first period.
Yeah.
So he seems to be... He can really... I guess he's noticeable, which isn't always great for a defenseman in his role. I mean, the odd little good pass or offensive play is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I feel like he's struggled more against the higher end competition, which I guess you could maybe say for anybody. But for a defenseman in that role, if you're seeing, well, how is he going to develop? How does he do against the better teams? I mean, I would think. Well, I don't know. I mean, Emerson played 14-18.
Regula had 17 minutes on the button.
So I guess when Wallman's healthy, assuming everybody else is healthy, they would take Emerson out. There's probably more of an upside in Regula. I just think there's way more variance in his performance than most of the other guys.
Well, he's got the least amount of experience out of those 3 young D-men. He's got 43 games under his belt, so we're going to have to probably live with the peaks and valleys, and maybe he mitigates the valleys as he progresses here in his career. But it's been interesting watching him progress. He did pick up that assist in the 17 minutes. Yes, took a penalty as well. It was a hooking call, I believe, back checking. All right, Reed, take a look ahead to Tuesday night against the Calgary Flames and another Pacific Division showdown, an opportunity in a 4-point game. I know Calgary's they're behind everybody for the most part outside of Seattle and Vancouver in the Pacific Division, but you get that final game before Christmas against your main rival, and oh, by the way, it's a 4-pointer. What are you anticipating going into that one?
Well, I mean, the Flames are playing better. I mean, look, they're out of last place, right? So for them, that's progress. I mean, they were terrible for the first quarter of the season. They're playing better now. I think they've won 3 in a row, have they not? Yeah. So they're trying to get back into a playoff spot, and they're spinning this as like we have over half the season to make up 4 or 5 points or whatever it is. Yeah. So they've built some belief. So I think the Flames are going into this saying, what an opportunity. Home and home against Edmonton before and after Christmas, our rival, a team like they're going to draw on any positives that they can, a team that they trailed 3-0 early in the season and beat in a shootout. And look, I think if you're talking about this from a Calgary perspective, then they're probably saying, okay, we have Dustin Wolf against who? Pickard or Ingram? I'm sure they're thinking, okay, we're going to have the goaltending advantage. And I'm sure the Flames would also be thinking, or their fans would be thinking, okay, don't get beat by one line or two guys. Don't get beat by McDavid and Draisaitl. Make it come down to some other players on the roster, and we'll have a chance. I think for the Oilers, but how do you stop McDavid when he's flying like some of these games? So that's the thing. And the power play, what they want, 2 for 3. So they got to be up. They got to be. If they keep going at this rate, they might hit 40% at some point during the season. So for the Oilers, keep up the special teams. Play solid defense. Try and make it easy for your goaltender. Play desperate. But then get somebody engaged and scoring in the bottom 6. Look, I know they're not sexy players and they're not going to score a lot, but Max Jones and Curtis Lazar are making the most of every second of NHL ice time they get. Yeah. I know Curtis wasn't in the AHL, but he was scratched a lot. He was injured. Max Jones, I'm sure he's got the Matt Hendricks attitude that he's a few bad shifts away from never being in the NHL again. So he's making the most of it. So have that attitude maybe with more players in the lineup.
Reid, you make the most of every opportunity you get on our fine station and anywhere else you're broadcasting. I appreciate you, buddy, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
There you go. There's Reid's Reid, brought to you by eWell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. A powerful broadcaster like Reid, partnering up with a wonderful company like eWell, partners in power and source for all things electrical. I love that last line. All right, let's get to the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game with Betty Thomson. Damon Bunting, you know him, you love him, and you can acknowledge that he's been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He's community-driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Ben Thompson, all yours.
Honorable mentions, obviously, but I can't go here to these guys. McDavid, Nuge. Nuge, 2-goal night. McDavid continues to just be unstoppable. Some of the plays he makes, like that penalty he drew today, like in the first period, you're just like, what do you do? What do you do against him? You skate back in your own end and you like close your eyes, hope you block the shot. It's like basically what it is. But obviously can't go to them. They're in 3 stars. I'm going to give it to a heartwarming story and a guy who kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit with this game. Like this is a tough situation to come into, especially with his numbers in the AHL not looking great. Connor Ingram coming up in the NHL, playing a pretty solid game. Didn't win them the game, but didn't lose them the game, which is all I think Oilers fans are asking for out of their goalie. So Connor Ingram played solid tonight. Great interview after the game as well. So Connor Ingram is going to be player of the game tonight.
Nicely done, Ben. I like that very much. Just a good story tonight. Connor Ingram making his return to the National Hockey League and facing 29 shots, making 26 saves on the night. First win since February of 2025. All right, let's go to the inbox as we wind things down. 780-218-9999. Jump into the Nasty Chat as well. Nasty Chat's been humming along as it always does. Good to see, and we appreciate that so very much. Oilers 4-3 winners over the Golden Knights. Dirty Curdy texting in says, they white-knuckled the last period in typical Oiler fashion, but a huge 2 points nonetheless. Ingram, decent considering how fragile the team defense has been of late. Is Stastny pushing Nurse to the third pair? Timely TO by Knobs, and Frederic has a chance to redeem himself against the Shames from Dirty Curdy. Calling the Flames the Shames. I see it. Jay texted, says, boys, they need to sit Mangiapane, get Frederic back in. Magpie was awful again tonight. That's from Jay. Let's go to AJ in Montreal. Says, I'm stunned that the ice at Rogers Place doesn't say season's greetings. Yeah, you know what? They used to do that at the Coliseum in the 80s, maybe even in the 70s in the WHA days. They haven't done that for decades. And I don't know if it's like a league-controlled thing. Plus, there's so many ads in the ice now, and then now they do the superimposed ads on the broadcast. And if you look at the ice now with the 4 logos, sponsor logos in the neutral zone, and then the 2 behind each goal line, it's a busy sheet of ice in the NHL now. We've got sponsor patches on jerseys and on helmets, so it's kind of tough, but I know what you mean, AJ. It was a nice touch that they used to do back in the day. Let's go to Garen. Says, hey, boys, big win. Who do we start on Tuesday? Ingram stopped what he needed to. Garen. I think my guess, Benny, would be Pickard.
Yep. I imagine it's Pickard. And then I mean, depending on the result, I guess, but I mean, I think I'd go back to Ingram after, like, for the home and home, the one in Calgary. To me, you have more trust in Pickard just because you have a longer, track record with him. But tonight, man, like he showed you today. It's like, okay, if he puts that game out, he's gonna give your team a chance to win. You have you should have no worry about who's back there in between the pipes. So I'm encouraged by this performance tonight and hope it gets him some more games while Jari continues to deal with his injury.
Coach Mike says Oilers' longest road trip is 4 games the rest of the way. They technically have 2 trips that length, but 1 is sandwiched between the Olympic break. Good point, Coach Mike. Yeah, the schedule becomes favorable. It's been a tough one these first few months of the season for sure. Go back to El Presidente. Says we're trying to still navigate peaks and valleys with Evan Bouchard as well, and he's not a young defenseman considering how long he's been in the league. Yeah, that's a good point. Because we're talking about Regula and peaks and valleys and the young defenseman. I know what you're saying, El Presidente. And then Much Master Flex, you get the last word, says, interesting about Ingram. Starts his first game after going through what he did against Carter Hart, his goalie partner on the World Juniors, which both of them have faced their adversity in their career. So great goalie battle tonight. It was good. Both guys made some nice saves. Some good firepower at both ends. And I thought it was overall an entertaining game. Big Dave says, props to Benny for rocking the coolest Christmas sweater I've seen this holiday season. Benny, get your ass out of here. It's time for you to go to your party. Enjoy your Christmas party. And great work as always tonight, my friend. Just mixing a water because I'm assuming you're in tomorrow.
Oh, I'm in tomorrow, but I'll be good tomorrow. Don't worry.
Great work, pal. Good stuff. That's been it's been another fun show. The Oilers with the 4-3 win. That's good to see. And really trying to chase down that first spot in the Pacific Division. It's there. It's doable. So we'll see how things go Tuesday night against the Calgary Flames. The Oilers playing a home and home against the Flames. Yes, sandwich with the Christmas break in there as well. Connor Ingram picks up his first victory as a member of the Oilers. 26 saves. And then Nugent-Hopkins, a couple of goals. McDavid, a couple of assists and a goal. Hyman, a couple of points. A good night, as well as Leon Draisaitl with 2 assists. He'll look to score on Tuesday. That'll do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. For Joaquin Gage, Reid Wilkins, and Ben Thomson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thanks for being with us. You know we appreciate it so very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We will see you tomorrow. The boys get going at 6 a.m. on The Nielsen Show. Ciao for now.